with his right-hand defense and leaving that whole left side open for the hook. But Mathis, you get the feeling that he's reading his opponent. He's changing the angle of his punches on call. Not a bad boxer for a big man. Kind of a plodding stance, but that's more typical of a big man. And you're not going to dance too easily carrying a 222-pound frame. Bam, bam, again. Boy, he's just beating him up.
He is. Rights and lefts coming from all different directions. They're scoring big. There's a straight right down the middle. Right uppercut that scored from Mathis. Martin having all kinds of difficulty. Dale Grable breaks the two from a clinch. Nothing really left on Martin's shots either.
Look at the body of Buster Mathis, and a lot of loose skin, and he doesn't look like he's in terribly good shape. But I think it's worth pointing out that those days when he was getting, as he said, his butt whipped in wrestling and his butt whipped in football and everything else, he was running about 325 pounds, so he's down about 100. And his body might tighten up. He's 22, and as he goes through his training regimen, he may tighten up and become a pretty formidable guy as it goes along.
Well, the one thing you notice, too, is he's got very thick legs. And for a fighter to develop power, a lot of it comes from the legs.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, he's got certainly the equipment down there to put some power on those shots.
And his distance seems reasonable. Well, we're almost halfway through the bout, but his pace has been fairly well measured, fairly up-tempo, and fairly consistent, and doesn't look like it's fading.
About 40 seconds left to go here in round 3 of the scheduled 6-rounder. Mathis has just been tattooing Martin. Martin now is hanging on the ropes, now clinches, leans on the ropes. I don't think Martin's ready to go the full 6. Mathis has been pounding on him since about the 15-second mark of round 1. Neither fighter's been down, though. The most telling shots, though, have been landed by Buster Mathis.
Near headbutt there. Mathis jumping up into that punch. No warning.
And there is the bell ending round 3 as we head to round 4. Let's go up into the corner and listen to the instructions to Buster Mathis. See if we can pick up on what they feel he can do to get even a little better job done against Mr. Martin. Can't really hear what they're saying. One of the preliminary information we had on Mathis was that he was a very good listener in the corner between rounds. But a second would tell him to do something, he would go out and execute it as well as any fighter. When you're a young fighter just starting out, that's one of the things that a lot of savvy ring veterans look for. How well do you take instruction in the heat of battle and carry them out? This is round 4. Buster Mathis against Tim Martin. Martin out of Chicago, and Buster Mathis, of course, the son of Buster Mathis out of Grand Rapids. Big left hook there as Buster Mathis continues the trend that we've seen in the first 3 rounds.
Last left hook right in the neck. Knock a lot of people out hitting them in the neck, but you hurt them. That stings.
You give him a stiff neck the next morning, I'll tell you that. Mathis has a great ability to work combinations to the body also. He's worked 3-punch combinations, left, right, left to the body, different parts of the body also, then come back up on top with the left hook.
Yeah, he's climbed the ladder 2 or 3 times with combo attempts that went 4 or 5 punches deep. That's not bad.
No, and there's no question that he spent some time on the heavy bag, and he spent some time in the gym working on that aspect of his game. Those just don't happen by accident. Halfway through round 4, scheduled for 6. Wild uppercut there by Mr. Martin. Didn't land, and Buster Mathis is inside now, has Martin in his office.
The pace dropped off a little. You know, we talked about the conditioning, the length of fight. This is scheduled to go 6.
Good right to the body there by Martin. Maybe the best punch he's thrown in the last 3.5 rounds. He just came right up the middle and hit Buster Mathis about the solar plexus, but that's all the offense he's been able to muster.
Well, I'll tell you, his best attempts have come in this round, really. He had one a moment ago, the wild uppercut that just did miss, that seemed to have more authority than anything he'd attempted since the beginning of the fight, but immediately Mathis countered off it and came back against him. Never let him load up for a second try, never let him get a breath, never let Martin have an opportunity. See, he takes a shot to the forehead and immediately he says, you're not going to build anything on that, pal, and he kicks him with a big left in behind it. Nice counter. Smart guy. I like Buster for a lot of reasons. Not his punching power, not his stature yet as a heavyweight, but I think there's some promise within that frame.
Big left hook coming out of the crouch from Buster Mathis, and we'll be back with round 5 of this one right after we pause for these words. Buster Mathis really doing a number on Martin against the ropes.
Well, if he'd had a few more seconds, I think he'd have finished him off. That left was a good one, and then you see there's 4 straight punches to the head and the face area. And are they stopping it?
They're stopping the fight.
They are. Now, after that flurry that we just looked at, Dr. Donald Kaplan went into Martin's corner and put the flashlight in the eyes, checked dilation, this and that and the other thing, and asked his seconds if he wanted any more. And I thought at the time they indicated, yeah, we'll continue the fight. Martin, obviously, and tickled about this. But Dr. Kaplan has apparently prevailed and said that's enough. He's defenseless. And the win goes to Buster Mathis Jr. in 4 rounds. Actually, the 5th round TKO?
I guess that's the way it goes. The 5th round TKO.
No, it's 4th round.
4th round, that's right. End of 3 minutes of round 4 is what it will be called officially. And Tim Martin obviously very upset, but there's no question that Martin wasn't really doing a whole lot offensively against Buster Mathis.
And there you see the flurry that predicated the examination by the doctor and led to the finish of the fight. Now, Martin's just been over yelling at Kaplan through the ropes that Mathis has burned himself out. In other words, I had him right where I wanted him going into the last 2 rounds.
Martin's certainly not very happy, and to be honest with you, he looks fairly fresh. Now, I don't know whether he's going to have the power to knock Buster Mathis out, which is what he needed to win, but he certainly could have gone the distance. At least it appears from this vantage point after the minute rest between rounds. But that's neither here nor there now, as
it's over.
Dr. Kaplan stops the fight, and it will go to Buster Mathis. And let's go to ring announcer Wally Jackson now for the official time.
Physician Donald Kaplan stops this contest by a TKO in the 6th round. The winner, Buster Mathis Jr. And a round of applause from Chicago for Tim Martin.
So Buster Mathis comes to Detroit and the Palace of Auburn Hills and continues to move his way upward, stays unbeaten at 5-0, and records his first knockout, although it's called a TKO, over Tim Martin of his career. Tim didn't like it, but that doesn't matter. It's in the record books, and we'll be back with more after we pause for this.